We're in a 2010 Ford Expedition. We're going to do the plug-and-play remote starter. It's a semi-plug-and-play system that's going to connect to the ignition harness, and we're going to plug into the immobilizer harness. First step is to take the vehicle apart and unplug the main ignition plug. We're going to press the release clip and unplug the main ignition. We're now going to remove the protective looming that's protecting the wires so we have access to the ignition wires. We're going to be looking for 4 target wires on this plug. We're going to be looking for constant power, primary ignition, accessory, and starter. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our constant power. Constant power on the vehicle is going to be blue with a red stripe. It's a light blue with a red trace. So we're going to go ahead and we've located that. We're going to put a 3M tap on this wire. Now if you look at the tap, we're going to need it to bite down in the groove here and lock. You can also strip and wrap these connections. Second wire we're looking for is the primary ignition. It's white with an orange trace. We're going to go ahead and we're going to place a tap on this wire also. Third wire we're looking for is a green wire with a violet trace. This is the accessory wire. We're going to tap that also. The last wire we're looking for is the starter wire. It's light blue with a white stripe. We're going to go ahead and we're going to apply a tap to this wire also. Now we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, we're going to unscrew the 7mm screws and we're going to release this diagnostic plug so that we can get to the wires. We'll pull it up over the top and we're going to trim some of this tape so that we have access to the can high and can low wires. With the tape removed, we're going to look at the diagnostic plug. We're going to locate the violet and orange and the gray and orange wires at the diagnostic plug. The gray and orange would be the can high, the violet and orange will be the can low. We're going to apply our taps to these wires also. At this point, we're ready to plug in our equipment. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in our 4 ends. These ends will be labeled constant power, primary ignition, accessory, and starter. This one isn't labeled, but yours would come to you labeled. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in the constant power. We're going to plug in the primary ignition. We're going to plug in the accessory. And we're going to plug in the starter wire. We're also going to plug into our can high and can low connections. We have 2 wires labeled, can high, can low. We're going to plug the corresponding labeled wire into the vehicle. It's can low, can high. Now we can go ahead and we can plug the vehicle's ignition back in. And one last plug we're going to be dealing with is the immobilizer plug. We're going to go ahead and unplug the immobilizer plug. We're going to plug our T-harness plug into the vehicle's immobilizer. We're going to plug the immobilizer plug we've removed from the immobilizer on the vehicle into the other end of the T-harness. We're now ready to begin programming of the unit. We're going to start by removing all of the plugs from the Evo All device. We're going to hold the program button on the Evo All, we're going to plug in the 4-pin data plug. As soon as we do that, a blue light's going to come on. We're going to release the button when we see the blue light. We're now going to plug in the remaining connectors. We're going to plug in the 20-pin. We're going to plug in the red plug. And we're going to plug in the white plug that goes to the can high, can low. At this point, we're ready to begin the programming of this. Programming will require 2 OEM keys to the vehicle. This is a 40-bit system, and it'll follow 40-bit programming. So we're going to program the first portion, which is the CAN bus, right now. We're going to place the key in the ignition and turn the ignition to the run position. The blue light's going to go out and come back on and flash rapidly. This is an indication that the Evo All has learned the CAN bus. If the light does not come back on and flash rapidly, chances are your CAN wires are connected wrong or not making a solid connection. Now I'm going to shut the key off and remove it from the ignition. Second portion of the programming will involve both keys to the vehicle. We're going to remove the 4-pin plug. We're going to hold the program button down while plugging in the 4-pin. We're going to release on red. When we have a solid red light, we're going to begin the programming sequence by putting one key in the ignition and turning it on. We're going to shut the key off. We're going to place the second key in the ignition, turn that one on. We're going to shut that one off, and then we're going to remove it, and then we're going to press the button on the Evo to complete programming. It has to be done in a timely fashion. There can't be a lot of time between steps. So I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the first key in. I'm going to turn it to the run position. I'll leave it on for a second, shut it off, take it out, second key, in and on. I'm going to remove the second key, and I'm going to press the button on the Evo and release it. The Evo All is going to complete its immobilizer programming, and then the CAN programming again, and everything's going to turn off. From this point, we should be able to start the vehicle using the OEM fob. The vehicle has successfully started and is running. Our accessories are powered up so our heat will function while in remote start mode. Both remotes will be able to start the vehicle. Now, we can add an RF kit to this system for long range starting. We can add a 5-button RF kit. We could add a single button RF kit, or we could add a 2-way RF kit. Parking lights are optional for the system and must be done in the passenger's kick panel. One of the things that I do is leave the lights in the auto position, and you will get the headlights on remote start most of the time.